I said in an earlier video that I love everybody. Some people I have to get really far away from to love them much. Really, really far, not even meet them. But I try to see if I can find a reason to love everybody. I know that people are doing evil, bad things have been enculturated in a funny way, and even that's a judgment on my part. But I was in Korea last year, and one of the Koreans, the North or the South, started throwing bombs at each other. And I was with a client of mine who had been in the military, and we were sitting at lunch, and it was all over the TV, and he was watching the TV, and we finally realized that South Korea, which is where we were, was claiming that the North Koreans had thrown bombs at them. And within, I think, like 30 kilometers of where we were, which was kind of exciting for me. I'm sorry, I know I'm quirky, I know that, but I compared myself to Ernest Hemingway at the time. I didn't have a shotgun present, thank God, but just that sense of adventure, that there was something that I'd never experienced before in my life that close. And I called my wife, and she said, well, you better start organizing, getting things, call the embassy, things like that. So I called the embassy, and my friend is a British citizen. He said, well, you're coming with me anyway. I know everybody at the embassy, and if anything happens, we'll get out. Don't worry about it. I said, I'm not really worried about it. It's really kind of exciting. The next day, we were going to the Zen Buddhist Center in Seoul. Took subways and things and ended up outside, and there was this, we got outside, and there were buses, armed policemen, like SWAT guys, and buses and stuff, and there were apparently protests going on. I don't know exactly about what, if there was more than this one, but we went to this one, and of course there are all these men in uniforms, and I find out later that they are ex-Korean Marines. And you get in the middle of it, and there's speeches going on and everything. And Simon is a photographer, so he got his camera out, and he starts walking in the middle. So I thought, okay, I'll follow Simon. And I get my camera out and I get into the middle of the group, and they start chanting about something and waving flags. And all of a sudden, I'm overwhelmed with so much sadness that I thought I was going to break down. And I just walked to Simon and said, I got to get out of here. And I walked out of the group and recovered, and when he came out, he said, what the hell's going on? And I said, I can't stand there. I said, what are they protesting about? And so he asked somebody on the side, he said, what's going on? And they were ex-Marines who were pissed off that the other Koreans had allegedly dropped bombs on them, on their people. And they wanted to go to war. They were chanting for war. Conflict and sadness reside in the same chakra, or on the same chakra, on the same level. I got in the midst of all this conflict, all this hatred, all this, oh, let's go kill somebody, and my system couldn't stand it. It just got overloaded. So I did what was appropriate. I got out. I did also what was appropriate. I started looking around to see what it was about. I didn't think, oh my God, I'm in South Korea for the first time in my life, and I'm really, really sad, and it's about, right? I just looked around, realized where I was, got out of there, felt much better.